Hello students, I am Dr. Timmegowda NR, Assistant Professor and Head, Department of Chemistry, Government Sri Krishna Rajendra Silver Jubilee Technological Institute, KR Circle, Bangalore. In my session 7 video lecture, I am going to explain the continuation of Engineering Chemistry Theory Module 1, Electrochemistry and Energy Storage System. In my previous session, I explained about concentration cells, in which definition of concentration cells, classification of concentration cells with example, derivation of an equation to find EMF of concentration cell, and numerical problems on concentration cells. The session 7 content includes energy storage systems, in which introduction to energy storage systems, classification of one of the energy storage system, that is battery, such as primary batteries, secondary batteries, and reserve batteries with examples. So what are energy storage systems? Energy storage system is a system or technology in which different forms of energy is loaded and it can be converted into useful form and can be used when it is needed. Energy can be stored either as chemical energy, potential energy, kinetic energy, electromagnetic energy, thermal energy, etc. So, if we consider battery as energy storage system in which the chemical energy is loaded and the battery will convert that chemical energy into electrical energy when needed, and it can be used for various applications. Let's go through different energy storage systems. They are chemical energy storage systems. As I mentioned, batteries and fuel cells are example for chemical energy storage systems. And these energy storage systems converts that chemical energy into electrical energy. And the energy can be used for various applications. Potential energy storage systems. Example, hydropower storage is an example for potential energy storage systems. So here, the hydropower can be used to generate electricity, and that electricity can be used for many applications. Mechanical energy storage systems. The pumped storage hydropower, flywheels, and pressurized gas storage systems are example for mechanical energy storage systems. Thermal energy storage systems, solar energy storage technology, and molten salt technology are example for thermal energy storage systems. Magnetic energy storage system. Superconducting magnetic system is an example for magnetic energy storage system. So these are some of the energy storage systems. So here we are mainly concentrating on the chemical energy storage systems. They are batteries. So what are batteries? In simple term, battery is a container consisting of two or more cells and produce electrical energy. The definition of battery is a compact device. Battery is a compact device consisting of two or more electrochemical cells which are connected in series or parallel that converts stored chemical energy into electrical energy through redox reactions. I repeat, battery is a compact device consisting of two or more electrochemical cells which are connected in series or parallel and that converts stored chemical energy into electrical energy through redox reactions. Battery is a portable source of electrical energy. So let's go through the history of battery. I already explained in my session 1 video lecture. I will go through this history again. In 1780, Italian physician Luigi Galvani, he was working in University of Bologna on bioelectricity. While doing his experiment, that is dissecting a frog, and which is fixed to a copper hook, and he touched the frog leg, the dead frog leg, with his iron knife. Then the leg of the dead frog was moved or twitched. The Galvani is surprised and believed that the energy for leg movement came from the leg itself. And he believed that electricity created within the animal, and he called this electricity as animal electricity. But in 1800, another Italian physicist, Alessandro Volta, proved that Galvani is wrong, and he explained the frog leg movement was not caused by an animal electricity, but it is due to the difference in potential between two different metals he used and connected to the animal tissue. So that is, the leg movement of dead frog is due to usage of two different metals with difference in electrode potential. And he demonstrated the generation of electricity using two different metals, zinc and copper, which are separated by cloth which is soaked in salty water, and wires are connected at both the ends. And hence, the first true battery was invented by the Italian physicist Alessandro Volta in the year 1800. Later on, the evolution of battery taken place through research, and in 2019, the Nobel Prize in Chemistry shared by three scientists, John B. Goodenough from USA, M. Stanley Whittingham from UK, and Akira Yoshino from Japan, for the discovery of lithium-ion battery. Let's go through components of battery. This is very important. The battery consists of four major components. They are anode, cathode, electrolyte, and separator. I repeat, the battery consists of four major components. They are anodic material, cathodic material, electrolyte solution, and separator. So let's go through each component. Anode or negative electrode. The anodic material should have the properties like easily oxidizable. That means the material selected as anode must undergo oxidation very easily, and that material must have very good electrical conductivity, and it is stable with electrolytes and ease of fabrication and low cost. So these are some of the required properties for the material used for anode. And oxidation reaction, that means liberation of electrons, takes place at anode. And M, the metal, it undergo oxidation and it releases electrons. If we come to cathodic material, the cathodic material should have the properties like the material must easily undergo reduction reaction, that is easily reducible. The material selected for cathode must have the properties like it easily undergo reduction reaction, stable with electrolyte, and ease of fabrication, and also low cost. So these are some of the properties should have by the material selected as cathode. So here at cathode, reduction reaction takes place. That means accept electron at cathode. So the component 3, that is electrolyte. So here the electrolyte helps to transfer of ions between anode and cathode, and it should have very good ionic conductivity. Example, a solution of alkali or solution of acid or salt with very high conductivity can be used as electrolytes in batteries. The last component is separator. A separator is a permeable membrane. The separator is a permeable membrane placed between anode and cathode. So it is to prevent internal short circuiting. The separator generally consists of a polymeric membrane forming a microporous layer. So this is about the different components of battery. Let's go through the types of battery. The battery is classified into primary battery, secondary battery, and reserve battery. So let's go through one by one. Primary batteries, also known as non-rechargeable batteries. In primary batteries, the cell reactions are irreversible. That means not able to reverse the reaction. Once the reaction is over, it cannot reverse the reaction. The primary batteries are designed for only single usage or single discharge and cannot be charged again. It's like use and throw batteries. Primary batteries produce electrical energy only as long as the active chemical species present in the batteries. The primary batteries produces electrical energy only as long as the active chemicals present in the batteries. Once all the reactants are reacted, then the battery stops generating electricity. Example, dry cell, mercury battery, silver oxide battery. These are all the batteries are example for primary batteries. So this is about primary batteries. Secondary batteries, also known as rechargeable batteries. These batteries can be recharged again after discharge or usage by passing current through the electrodes and can be used again and again. So these secondary batteries can be used again and again by charging. In secondary batteries, the cell reactions are reversible, and also we can call these batteries as reversible batteries. In secondary batteries, during discharging, the cell acts like galvanic cell. So during discharging, the secondary battery function as galvanic cell. That means which converts chemical energy into electrical energy. But during charging, the secondary battery acts like electrolytic cell. That means by using electrical energy, the chemical energy will be restored. Hence, these batteries are called storage batteries. So here lead acid battery, this is the battery, lead acid battery, nickel cadmium battery, nickel metal hydride battery, and lithium ion batteries are example for secondary batteries. So reserve batteries. A reserve battery is also called standby battery. It's a primary battery. Here, one of the component of the battery stored separately. So in reserve battery, all four components are not inside the battery. Out of four, one of the component stored separately. Usually, electrolyte will be stored outside the battery separately, and this electrolyte is incorporated into the battery when electrical energy is required. I repeat, in reserve battery, one of the component will be stored separately, that is electrolyte, and it is incorporated or added into the battery when electrical energy is required. The electrolyte is separated in reserve battery is to prevent shelf discharge, and hence this battery is capable of long-term storage. So reserve batteries are having long shelf life. So because we will store that electrolyte outside, hence we can prevent shelf discharge. Hence reserve batteries are having long shelf life. That means that will retain its efficiency for longer time. High performance and the reserve batteries are used to deliver high power for relatively short periods of time. So when we are using this reserve battery, so because of long shelf life and high performance, these reserve batteries are used to deliver very high power for short periods of time. These batteries are used in missiles, projectile, and various weapon systems. That means for military applications. Example, magnesium water activated batteries. So here electrolyte, that is water, is stored outside and it is added whenever energy is needed. So this is about reserve batteries. Let's go through some of the multiple choice questions covered in this session. Question number 1. 2019 Chemistry Nobel Prize awarded for the discovery of the energy storage system. That is option A, mercury battery, option B, nickel cadmium battery, option C, nickel metal hydride battery, option D, lithium ion battery. So as we know, the 2019 Chemistry Nobel Prize awarded for the discovery of lithium ion battery. The right answer is option D. Question number 2. Secondary batteries, also known as option A, non-rechargeable batteries, option B, reserve batteries, option C, rechargeable batteries, option D, fuel cells. Secondary batteries are also known as rechargeable batteries. Hence, the right answer is option C. Question number 3. Mobile battery is A. Option A, primary battery. Option B, secondary battery. Option C, reserve battery. Option D, none of the above. We know that we can use the battery also once it's get over, we can recharge it. Hence, mobile battery is a secondary battery. The right answer is option B. Question number 4. The chemical reaction takes place during interconversion of chemical energy and electrical energy in batteries are option A, oxidation reaction, option B, reduction reaction, option C, substitution reaction, option D, both option A and B. We know that, so the chemical reactions takes place during interconversion of chemical energy and electrical energy in a battery are both oxidation as well as reduction reaction occur simultaneously. Hence, the right answer is option D, that is both oxidation and reduction reactions. Question number 5. Example for primary battery. Option A, nickel cadmium battery. Option B, nickel metal hydride battery. Option C, lead acid battery. Option D, dry cell. So as we discussed, nickel cadmium, nickel metal hydride and lead acid batteries, these three batteries are example for secondary battery. But dry cell, it is an example for primary battery. Hence, the right answer is option D, that is dry cell. Question number 6. Secondary batteries function as option A, galvanic cell, option B, electrolytic cell, option C, both option A and option B, option D, none of the above. As we know, secondary batteries function both as galvanic cell as well as electrolytic cell. During discharge or usage, secondary batteries function as galvanic cell, and during charging, the secondary batteries function as electrolytic cell. Hence, the right answer is option C, that is both galvanic cell as well as electrolytic cell. The right answer is option C. So these are the reference materials I have gone through. I will stop this session here and I will continue the remaining syllabus in next session. Thank you.